Hello, beautiful people. This is Philly here, and I've got a really special announcement to make. So after 5 or 6 months of really intentionally dreaming about putting on a retreat for our community, and if I'm being honest, it has been about 5 or 6 years of dreaming in the making, Chris and I are super excited to announce that we are holding the Body Knows retreat on the 14th to 16th of August 2026 this year. And this ending body burnout experience will create the space for you to go deeply inwards, to listen to the messages from your body, and to take aligned action to move forward in your health and your life. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It's going to be so wonderful having a group of self-healers in the same room taking aligned action. What does the retreat look like? Think body-mind root cause coaching, Chris&Filly style, trauma-informed somatic practices and breathwork, sound healing, nourishing, wholesome, nutritionist-created food, luxury accommodation overlooking the wild Tasmanian ocean, plus so much more. So we would love you to join us in the beautiful northwest Tasmania at the award-winning venue, The Cove. This venue is stunning. It is perched at the top of the most stunning coastal cliff, looking over the wild ocean with paddocks of goats and alpacas and highland cows roaming in the background, and there's even little penguins that come up onto the beach at night. And so we would love you to invite you into this sacred space for a weekend of deep connection with self, the land and sea, and community. So if you'd like to learn a bit more about the retreat, just head down to the link below. There'll be a link called the Body Knows Retreat. Check it out. We would love to see you there live in person. And I'm really excited about giving you a cuddle in real life. If you like cuddles. If not, we can do a high five. All right, my loves. We'll see you in the episode.
Hello and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood, and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing, and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself, and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in. Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of the Ending Body Burnout Show. Today, Philly and I are going to give some personal experiences, aren't we?
Yeah. So we had inside our program, the Ending Body Burnout Method, we hold weekly root cause workshops with our clients. It was a little while back, but we had a client ask us a question around how we regulate in our daily lives when we feel a disturbance within. And we talked about it with our clients in our workshop, but we thought we'd really flesh it out in the podcast today because I think it'll be fun to do. And yeah, hopefully there'll be some little gems, little pieces of inspiration that you can try on and try implementing in your own life as well. Or it might just be a reminder to lean into some of these regulation tools and practices that we're going to talk about today. Shall we dive in?
Let's dive in.
Awesome. Okay, so before we talk about our practices first, I thought I'd just do a little bit of 101 on nervous system and nervous system regulation. So stresses are real, and having a regulated nervous system is an inbuilt capacity that we're all born with, where we can return back to a state of calm. Now, of course, things can happen in the womb and through birth and childhood that can impact the nervous system. But essentially, humans have this inbuilt capacity to return back to a state of calm. Over time, if there's been a lot of chronic stress, so that's where the nervous system can get stuck in either fight, flight, or if it's been in that state for long enough, you can drop down into what's called functional freeze, or you can bounce around between the two. So there's a bit of a myth that a regulated nervous system is always calm and chill and flowful. For some of our clients, this comes as a bit of a shock when they realize that this actually isn't the end game. I thought this too. So when I was really diving into deeper metaphysical healing, subconscious reprogramming, I really thought that I would get to a point where even when things were happening around me, I would always feel calm and chill and in flow. So it was a bit of a shock to me too when I'm like, I've done all this work and I'm still having some sensations in my body or thoughts in my mind or emotions showing up in my body. So yeah, it is a myth. That is not the end game. We're still human beings. We're still responding to stresses, and it's really important that we do that because sometimes some of those stresses might actually be unsafe, or they might be trying to tell you that, you know what, you might be heading down burnout again. Let's come back to a place of alignment. So these sensations that we get are really helpful. And you can also improve your window of tolerance so that it's happening less, or the nervous system responses that you might be experiencing are more mild, subtle, and you're able to be more flexible with them and essentially retrain your nervous system to return back to a state of calm. So essentially a healthy nervous system is able to move through all of these responses. It can get stuck. It can move up into fight flight. It can also drop down into freeze sometimes when you're really low, when you're sad, when you're grieving. And it can also return to its just right state rather than staying up in fight or flight or being stuck in freeze or just bouncing around the two and never really feeling like you're in a just right state for a prolonged period of time. So that's what a healthy nervous system is. A regulated nervous system is also not only helping us to return back to our just right state, but it also conditions our body to react to stress more appropriately on an ongoing basis. So then it is expanding our window of tolerance so we can live a bigger life. I was talking to a client yesterday who is recovering from chronic fatigue and chronic body pain and low mood, depression. He's doing really great and feeling so much better within himself, and his energy levels are picking up. But he was kind of like, but at the moment I'm not working full time. I'm only working casually or part time. So, I have this fear of like when I work full time, am I just going to crash again? And it's like, well, yeah, potentially if you jump straight back into more capacity work on a day-to-day basis, then yeah, there might be a crash, but what you want to do is support the nervous system. So over time, it's micro expanding that window of tolerance. So over time, you're able to do more, be more, experience more, feel more without crashing or getting stuck in fight flight. And so again, like when we think about that, a healthy nervous system helps you to operate at a high performance level, and it also helps you to drop down into deep rest. So I know that there's a lot of people out there who are actually operating at a high performance level, and maybe you might not be in the depths of body burnout yet, but there might be some signs moving there. But if you're someone who's operating at a high performance level, but you're struggling to drop down into deep rest, that's a dysregulated nervous system. So having a healthy nervous system allows you to perform at a high level, but it also allows you to like swing all the way back down and deeply rest and relax and chill. And you will probably have signs of if you struggle to do that, if it's kind of like I'm on a holiday and I still need to like keep busy and do all the things, or I'm trying to meditate or whatever it is, and my mind is buzzy and like, my body feels agitated. It's also having a healthy nervous system is also knowing when you need to drop it down a notch too. So if you are operating at a high performance level, it's being able to be really in tune with the cues that your mind and your body are sending you so that you can adapt and be flexible and drop it down a notch, or, drop back into that deep rest so that your cup is then full again and you can continue going. So with all that in mind, this is how Chris and I nurture ourselves on a daily basis so we can still perform at a high level, experience rest, and what we do when we are feeling a disturbance or a dysregulation in the mind and the body. And I've broken it down into a few sections. So I thought we would start off with daily rituals and routines as well. Because if we just jump straight into, well, this is what I do, like when I feel disturbed or triggered, without the context of how personally, like I live my life in order to then be able to respond to a disturbance, these daily rituals and routines are foundational for being able to respond in a healthy way. If I wasn't doing these, I'd be like a crazy woman. So for me, and as I'm talking about my healthy routines, rituals, I'm then going to pass it over to you, Chris, to chat about yours.
Easy.
And we're both very different as well. So I think that you'll
different.
learn a lot, that there's not one way of doing anything. So first of all, like a healthy lifestyle is really important for me. So that would look like eating healthy, regular meals 80 to 90% of the time, including treats. I love treats. If you want to listen to a whole podcast episode around what I eat in a day, there is an episode, I think it's called What Philly or a Functional Medicine Practitioner Eats in a Day. Can't remember what number it is, but we can put it in the show notes. Sleep is also really important to me. So I average about 9 hours of sleep a night, and I really value that. Sometimes it might be a little bit less, maybe 8. Sometimes it can even be 10. Good solid 10 hours of sleep is amazing. And I don't do elaborate sleep routine procedure to be able to do that. It's just become a habit, I guess. Like I go to sleep, turn off the lights around 10:30. I wake up usually between 7 and 8 a.m. Most of the time that is just allowing my body to wake myself up naturally. Sometimes it's an alarm at 7 in case, I need to get to the clinic early. Movement's really important for me. So most things that I do are pretty low intensity exercise. So I walk 4 or 5 times a week. In summer, I'll go swimming in the ocean and sunbake. Not that that's exercise or movement, but I don't know. There's just something that gives me the same experience in my body when I'm lying in the sand out in nature. It's so good. And then hiking. There's no consistency there. Sometimes it might be every week. Sometimes it might be once a month. We went on a longer walk just recently, but previous to that we hadn't before Christmas because we had a lot going on, extracurricular stuff. And also just supporting my lymphatic system. So daily lymph glove brushing. I have a sauna once a week. So they're kind of like my healthy lifestyle foundations that make up rituals and routines that help to support my physical body, which is also supporting my nervous system. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, so I don't know if you know this about me or not, but my routine is not normal to many people. I think I've said this once before about my cousin Tim, one of my bestest friends in the world. Hey, Tim. He said once to me, Chris, you really got to work on your time management. You do so many things. And so he's probably probably hit the nail on the head, to be honest. But I am interested in so many things. As a multi-potentialite and someone who is a bit neurospicy, somebody like myself is interested in stuff. I'm very curious. I love the way the world works, and I'm very interested in the way the world works. I'm very interested in how you work and how I work, and I'm very passionate, very interested, and that can become. That's a great superpower, but it's also my greatest vulnerability, and it's a double-edged sword for sure because I get into so much stuff. I wrote down some things after talking to a podcast interview just before
with Dr. Amy. You would have listened to her last week if you listen to our podcast every week.
Yeah. So, hey, Dr. Amy, this is not specifically what we talked about with you, but while you were talking to Philly, for those of you who watch the video or listen to it, you'll notice that I didn't say anything. It's because I was madly like scribbling down notes and ideas and thoughts. So I'm off camera the whole interview, and I filled up like a couple of pages in my notebook. It was a really cool conversation that Philly had, and I kind of was inspired. Anyway, ADD. So what I wrote down was, people get interested in so many things. Like if you're like me, I get interested in so many things, but I also have my attention on so many things. So therefore, that's wide. I call that breadth. So I'm interested in lots of things, and my attention is on lots of things, breadth. But I also have some stuff around perfectionism and other patterns, like I want to be good at what I do and blah, 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 blah. So I want to go deep into stuff. My problem is, and I'm getting to my routine in a second, this is really important. So breadth and depth can wear me thin. I get very stretched. So when I have to add something into my routine, it's another thing. And sometimes you would say sometimes like, Chris, can you pick the thing up or do the thing? I'm just picturing like a couple of boxes.
Do you mean like all the junk that was sitting on the dining room? No, actually I got Poppy to move it today because it's been 3 weeks and you still hadn't moved it. And so Poppy had the day off from school today. Well, I'm like, I'll put you to work, girlfriend.
Yeah. Anyway, so the perfectionist in me just like went, yeah, but where did she put all my, like the things that I need?
Don't care. It's out of my space.
Cool. Okay.
It's in the garage.
We'll talk about this. So where was I going with this?
It's if you have breadth and depth, you get stretched thin. So if you add something else into the routine.
Yeah. Like you could get, like Philly could ask me.
Dysregulation.
Philly could ask me something and it would be just like an extra thing. And I'm just like, I don't have time for this. I don't have energy capacity for this. It's because in that moment, no, that's actually honest truth. And my cousin Tim would look at that and Philly would look at that and just say, you really need to work out your time management. Maybe. But in that moment, I need less about.
I don't say that to you anymore because.
Good girl.
You're
well trained.
Know that your brain is not capable of doing
same,
that.
Yeah, I'm not in that moment. I'm dysregulated. And so what I need in that moment is to like a rubber band is stretched, I need to come back in. And so here's a couple of the things that I do to unstretch, to unwind. Does that make sense? Like that really resonates with me. I'm wound tight. I'm stretched. So to come back down, I like to get out into the sun as much as I possibly can. And that means direct sunlight. So that's no clothes on, if appropriate, or pants. A very minimum
usually
amount of
just
stuff.
Undies.
Yeah, like I'm serious. I'm like out in it. So had a couple of close calls with Australia Post. Anyway, I also like to get some steps, but not when I'm super wound up. I have to have like a little bit of a pre-walk mental routine where I kind of get all my ducks in a line and then I can step out the door. Also, make sure that I have some sort of a shower. I feel like if I...
Actually, shower is really important for you because I think if you're a little bit sweaty, you get really stressed out.
I definitely.
So shower is like good, healthy food for me.
Yeah, for me, if I don't have like a really nice shower, and I'm not talking about a cold shower or any of that, to me, nonsense. to you, like it might be really valuable to whoever is listening here. But for me, I'm just not into it. I used to try, but I feel better with it. Yeah, felt forced. And even in this podcast back in the early years, I might have mentioned about cold showers and stuff like that. But I just feel like I was missing out on something really relaxing and important to me, which is a nice warm shower where I can stare at the wall and my brain can think about zombies and dragons and business and family and myself and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, showers are really important. I also really value breathing. And sometimes when I'm feeling very anxious, I'm feeling like I'm thinking about things that are outside of my capacity and my direct control, I'll do a little test and I'll cover one nostril. I'm not pinching it. I'm not pressing. I'm just putting a little light cap on it. And do I get air just without forcing a breath in? You know, if I forced, of course I'll get air in, but can I just get passive breathing through that nostril? Like even right now, I'm probably riding at about, I say 5 out of 10. This one's probably about a 4. So that's like out of a possible 20, I'm riding on a 9. Sometimes I'll do the test. I'm like, 0. I'm not getting a single skerrick of air. Oh, wow, I'm like at a 1. And surprise, surprise, I feel anxious because I'm working intensely hard to like breathe. So I'll slap on one of these nose strips and I'm like, oh, it's orgasmic. Like I really, honestly, it's like I feel such a thrill because I'm getting air into my body and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
So in the way that doing lymphatic brushing feels
nice.
Really good for me, your nose strips are the equivalent.
Oh, it's like how nice is it to be able to breathe? That might sound really weird if you don't have a breathing constriction. Like my nose has been broken and I feel like this is something that I could surgically potentially do things, but I'd rather, for less money and for less invasion, I can just slap one of these adhesives on. For me, it works. Anyway, breathing, little nostril check. That is critical for me. That has so much impact on my mood. You got the I want to say something face. No? Okay. I also feel like if I don't have water, jinx. So I got a gift from my brother-in-law, some sparklerization. So I love to have filtered mineral water sparkling. I think I said that in reverse. Sparkling filtered mineral water changes my mood so quickly. That's a massive part when I'm feeling a bit anxious or worried or, palpitations or something like that. I'm like, whoa, what's happening here? Physical wise, I'm like, I'm going to have a drink of water. It might sound weird, but that is so important to me. I also feel like if I don't get a chance to get out into my garden and have a little potter around and pick off some grubs and have a little poke around and Elsie, my youngest, both of us, feel you're not averse to the garden, but it's Elsie and I mostly are in the garden together. Yeah. So Elsie, I'll be like, Elsie, come quick. And she'll go, what? I'll be like, check this out. A little fig. Figs are growing. We got little tiny figs. And she's like, yeah, oh yeah. And we just get so excited when there's like a little bit of growth. I'll be like, Elsie, the capsicums are shooting up. Oh, wow, yeah. Dopamine through the roof. Garden. I also feel like if I don't get a chance to talk, if I don't get a chance to express myself,
Is that why you broke the rule last night? We have a rule, no talking about business before bed.
But I had something like really interesting. What did I even say?
Well, I know why, because there were 2 times throughout that day that you tried to talk to me about it, and both times weren't appropriate. Like we were about to start a team meeting and then something else happened. And then at nighttime, Chris is like, I need to tell you something.
I can't even remember what I said. It was something. It was just.
It was an experience that you had in a coaching session.
Yeah, and I had a really cool experience with one of my clients. Nothing life-changing or anything. Probably was. I can't even remember what I talked about because it was nice. Matter. I got it off my head, off my chest. Out of my head, off my chest. Listen to my gut. Blah 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 blah. Now, who can do that? I mean, if you, dear podcast listener, aren't here, I'd be talking to myself. If Philly's not here, I would literally just be either journaling it or writing notes or scribbling on my whiteboard.
It's so funny because if I have been talking all day, and that might be with clients, it might be like a social thing, it might be with our youngest who is a talk. I need silence. I need just me. And I would be okay with a full day of not talking to anyone, multiple days. I could easily do a silent retreat.
I would get to the silent retreat. I'll be like, so what are the rules again? Oh, no silence. Okay, go. So can I talk when I'm back at my own room by myself? Okay, cool. Can I, I need to express myself somehow, some way. So that's either through family, loved ones, journal, coaching, whatever. I also find a lot of expression in my hobbies that I've found. I've always been into it, and just of lately, after some coaching, I've realized, I really leaned out of this for a long time and went into sport, but now I'm kind of coming full circle. Back when I was a young lad, I used to always sing, perform, but then kind of started getting bigger and faster and taller than everybody else, so I got into sport. Anyway, my hobbies these days are drama, reading about drama, professionalism around performance, singing, being coordinated and dancing. That's a work in progress for sure. Guitar, piano. Yeah, I've on a desk I've got a piano that I've just taught myself how to play the piano in the last couple of months. Sorry, learning how to sing, play the guitar, play the piano, blah blah blah. This sort of stuff. If I'm not doing what I'm interested in, I'm not the best version of myself. If I am not living on purpose, I'm unhappy. If I don't get a chance to play sport with my friends, my brothers-in-law, I'm being physical some sort of way, I'm not having a good time. So I also make sure that my environment is set up for success, and this is where it bites me in the butt if I'm a little bit spread too thin. I need to make sure that I've got what I need to be able to be who I am, and what's important to me. But yeah, that's Chris. So you're listening to this and you're probably thinking, holy crikey,
so you do have rituals. This is just like a lot of things.
Yeah, but that's not all in one day.
No.
That is like a little sizzler's sprinkle. Like I walk into my day and I'll be like, what are we having today?
And sometimes you'll get over something as well. Like you were very, very into hiking, which I'm really sad that's not an ADHD passion. I
wouldn't say. Well, I'm not over it at all.
Not in terms of like needing to go wanting to go every week.
Well, I think.
So there's just
other things that I do on the weekend instead.
Yeah, I know exactly. So there's just kind of like ebbs and flows.
I take offense to your wording
of how
I'm taking that personal.
Oh, I take it personal because I'm like, I would go out.
I'm just kidding, guys.
And, I could just climb a mountain by myself. Me and my oldest would like
I
to,
do.
But she's like, Dad needs to come. I don't trust you, Mum.
Dad's got all the
you'll get us lost.
Stuff. Dad's
I'm like, come on. Okay, so there's a few other things. My intention was we broke it up into like healthy lifestyle, how we spend our time, and then how
I ruined your layout, didn't I?
How
I just went fire hose.
How we do daily inner work, and Chris has just basically covered all bases. So I'll talk about my stuff again. So in terms of time, like my me time is really important. And if I don't get that, just in the same way that Chris was talking about, if there's too much breadth and depth, you get stretched thin. If I don't have me time because I've put too much into the day in usually like work or responsibility stuff, then I will not be a happy person. So this like regularly looks like, and I'm not doing, again, all of these things every day, but there'll be something happening every day. It will either be the beach or bushwalks, listening to podcasts, watching, reading, listening to something that gets my creative juices flowing. And that could be anything to do with health or business or creativity. I found that I didn't have a lot of time to do that kind of over the Christmas period because we went on a trip for 4 weeks. And so, the whole family was together. Then we came back in straight into launch. I found that was lacking in my daily rhythm, and it was making me very sad, and my soul was not happy, and my creative juices were just like fizzling away. So that was a cool like recent learning that I personally need to engage with. It might be like a webinar, it might be a podcast, it might be a book, whatever it is that is just like, oh yeah, gets me in the game. Netflix, watching a TV show or a movie is something that I do on a daily basis as well, and I love it. If the above isn't happening on a daily basis, at least one or a multiple of those things, that's when I feel stretched and pulled and my window of tolerance lessens. I am a creature of habit. We have, I guess, like, we call some people salamanders and some people cats. Mostly when it comes to eating, we have different meal plans, and it's like a cat is someone who loves variety. A salamander is someone who likes the same. So I'm probably more like a salamander, the same. But if I don't get a spice of variety, fun, adventure at least once a week, then I feel like, again, like I'm getting stretched, or I just feel discordance in my system. It's like, oh, I want something different because everything's getting a bit same. So that might look like longer hikes or family outings, just randomly getting a massage just for fun, going to a lovely cafe, singing, dancing. We're in a musical at the moment, so we're getting lots of that throughout the week. Sometimes it's even just cooking something that I've never cooked before, creating a recipe. Sometimes it's going to the cinema or the theatre or a family get together. So something that lights me up beyond the daily rituals, that adds a little bit more either variety or adventure into the day-to-day life.
We didn't make that salamander and cat thing up. I got that from my friend and mentor, Mark Buckley, FMA Strength Institute, if you want to check him out.
Cool.
Lots of cool stuff.
And in order for me to be able to do that with my time, I also have made sure that I have boundaries around how much I work. So, for example, one-to-one consults, coaching sessions, like my average is around 20 hours. That feels really good. It's also my max. So if I teep beyond that, and I've done it multiple times, and my body and my mind have always said no. Similar, like when we're recording podcasts, or doing like a media interview or recording videos, I kind of time block that, so it's done on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. I generally stop working after the kids get home. That's often when I might go for a walk, cook dinner, just kind of like plod along. And Fridays is usually a bit more of a flexible white space day, as well as the weekends. So I think that it's important that we share that, because if we just went into like, oh, well, when we get a disturbance, this is what we do to self-regulate.
Wait, a what?
A disturbance.
A disturbance.
Or like when we feel triggered. And this is a conversation that I have with clients a lot, is it's like, oh, well, I'm doing all the things. I'm doing the practices. Like I had this signal pop up and I did this meditation, or I did this affirmation, do. And, that's all great and lovely. But also if you're not living your life in a way that supports you to be the person that you want to be, then all the protocols or the practices that you're doing, they're not going to get you the results that you want. They are what I would call the cherry on the top. And inner work's really important to me. So for me, again, like if I'm thinking about this as a ritual routine, I get monthly one-on-one coaching sessions with my own coach. I also have conversations with Chris. Sometimes I request it. Sometimes it is done without permission, but I need it for my growth and to have the conversation that hasn't been said. And on a daily basis, just constantly being in tune with my body, my unconscious mind, my heart, like constantly asking myself, what do I want? Or what do you need? Or what do you want? And working towards giving myself that. It looks less like in the morning, I wake up and I do journaling and then I'll do a breathwork session. It's kind of like, I feel like my inner work now these days is a lot more organic. It's just happening as I am living and being. And I do have structured coaching sessions regularly. And I will also, usually weekly, sometimes more or less, do some sort of somatic or unconscious change practice that might look like meditation, or, we have some beautiful local practitioners that do breath work and sound healing. And I'll always book into one of those if there's like a half a day workshop or something where I can just have that space to be and just allow things to move through me.
Can I just say about this? We have a thing called the perfect week, and this is something that stresses a lot of people out. It brings people a lot of tension and frustration. And so when someone wants to think about, I want to have these things happen in my week. I want these things to, at this time I do this time. This is a perfect week. It's like time blocking. However, for someone who's already stretched so thin to plug stuff in, it's really overwhelming when someone's got low capacity and then they think, I should be adding more stuff in. I should be doing this. I need to be getting this done. Or expert A, B, or C said that I need to have this in my life. I need to be doing this. It can really overwhelm a nervous system that's already on edge, right?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about that. Like I mentioned, I'll do some sort of weekly practice. That is not in my I mean, like if I've booked into it and I've paid for an experience, it will be in my diary. But if it's done on my own accord, I'm just kind of doing it based on like, do I need this today? Do I want this today? Whereas I know, like what Chris was saying, that was I thought it was a weakness. I'm like, I'm really bad at doing this stuff. Like I can rationalize and logic my way and reframe and do all that. That like actually comes a lot easier, but to be quiet and still. And so I had in my mind in the past that I needed to do like a daily meditation or a daily breathwork session, and it just felt really forced. It was just another thing that I had to add to my to-do list. Whereas the more organic you can be, find what you love as well. Like when Chris was talking about all his passions and all the things that he loves to do, they're gardening, acting, whatever it is. Like if it is passionate and it's good for you and for the rest of the world in some way, shape or form, that's going to be healing as well. It doesn't have to look like a structured thing that the guru on Instagram or the influencer says you must be doing every day. And the moment that I let that go and I'm like, I don't actually need to do anything regularly. All I need, and this is why the question for myself, what do I need? What do I want?
Yeah, this
is my guiding North
huge.
Star to decide how I use my time and what I do in order to nourish and love myself. I'm going
to do it. Okay. Andrew Huberman is bringing popularity to one of the most underrated things in the past, nervous system, making sure your neurology is, you know about it, the science and things like that. I also think he's one of the worst people to listen to when you're burned out. I just find that when he brings studies, I wonder if anyone will tag him. I just feel like, who's this peon, Chris Billette? I just feel like some of his advice, or the advice that people will latch onto. Number one, his podcasts are information loaded, and for someone who's burned out like you are already loaded up with stuff. You're stretched thin. So to have more information and to have more science can overwhelm your nervous system, which is already overwhelmed already. And number two, he will give you protocol, which is great and fantastic, but he doesn't know you. He doesn't know who you are. And so for the popular masses, his information is fantastic and great, but for when you're burned out, I think it's the worst information to try and dive into. And I think it's better to find out where you are at right now. And rather than getting stuck up Should Creek without a paddle, I should be doing this and I should be doing that. Where are you? How are you right now? What's your location on this experience that you're in right now? What do you need? And then go from there. Don't reach out to experts. Heck, don't even listen to what I'm saying just because I'm saying it. Have some intuition. Sorry, you have intuition. Connect with your intuition and listen to yourself. Notice what you actually need. And I just feel like if you can, that is going to solve all the problems in the world. I believe it. If you really just listen to what your intuition is telling you and connect with that rather than what you feel obliged to do out of compulsion.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we talk about what we do when we experience a disturbance?
Like putting out fires and all that sort of stuff. Emergency.
Yeah. I actually found when I was prepping this podcast, I'm like, it's a really hard question to answer in a short period of time because for me personally, it will be context dependent. Can
I go first? Because I feel like
go for it.
I've got an analogy that and then you can like fill in the gaps from there.
Okay.
Mine's an emergency thing. It's like, that in emergency, pull, like you're disturbed, you're frustrated, you're overwhelmed. You got to put out the fire. So number one, stop creating fires that you need to put out. So this, for me, that looks like if I'm stretched, I need to big picture, reduce the amount of fires. So at the end of my emergency, I think
the amount of ADHD obsessions.
Yeah. or be intentional.
Refine them.
Yeah. So somehow, some way, at the end of the emergency, I've got to figure out how to be more fireproof and how to not create fires. So, but the emergency release for me is always unwind because I am always stretched. It is for me, for Chris, I am always stretched. So I need to find a way to calm, to connect, to bring myself together. And that is going to be, there's billions of things that can do that. But my emergency thing is I need some space. I can't be in whatever I'm in, a conversation, a house. I just need some time. I also need some space, and I need just a little bit of a breath. And that is, for me, that's it. That's all I need. And that takes the edge off things. And then my brain comes back online and I can stop thinking or behaving from my lowest self. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that's probably similar to me. So I would think about it like if it's a small disturbance versus a big disturbance, and I'll give some examples of what they would be. So if it's something small, like an example would be, I don't know, Chris and I had a confronting conversation the other day, a more challenging conversation. Or sometimes the kids might just be annoying. Sometimes there might be something that happens in our business, or my time gets taken away from me. That sounds very victim-y.
That is victim-y.
Or there's something, and I'm saying that with tongue in cheek because that would be a disturbance. It's like someone's taken my time, and this was my time, and it was important.
That's the honest truth. Like, that's how you felt. Like, you felt like you were in victim mode.
I definitely drop down into victim when I'm feeling a disturbance.
So being victim. So by not saying what you just said there, does you a disservice. You can't think about it. You can't talk about it. So by saying that I think that's healing.
Yeah.
You're still there, but you got to get over it.
Yeah. So it can be something just like a day-to-day thing that pops up that's a bit annoying, a bit challenging, something that feels like it's stealing something from me. So I will, first of all, it's interesting that you use the word emergency, because I find the urgency story. It's like if I use the example of feeling stretched, because this would be a small disturbance where it's like, just like got a lot on today. How am I going to get it all done? It's like I'll find the urgency story. Why do I feel like I have to do all the things right now? There will usually be some old shadows of like money fear around, well, if I don't do all the things, I'm going to go bankrupt, or I'm going to like deeply disappoint someone. So the moment that I can see what the urgency is, and it's like, oh, is that the thing that's causing the disturbance? All right, well, I've worked on that. I've dealt with that. So return back to the story of who I am. Return back to the story of how I'm being. It's safe to be slow. There's no urgency. The world isn't going to come crashing down. I might disappoint someone. I can't control other people's emotions and what they think about me. And if I do disappoint them, that's okay. That's a them issue, not a me issue. If I don't get, the email back in 24 hours and they get upset and they think I'm ignoring them, it's like, I'm not. I'm actually just like being honest with my capacity at the moment, and I don't have time for that yet. And so like it's really like I just find like having a chat with myself, a conversation, that I'm doing my best. If it has to wait a day or two, that's fine. It's simply like I simply can't do it right now. If it's a money thing that pops up, or it's just like I'm going to go bankrupt, then I'll return back to some beautiful mantras that really helped me in the past, that just gets me back on track again, knowing that it's safe, like finances are safe. So my big ones are money's always been there for me, because it has. Even when we were broke, it was still there. It's got my back. It's always had my back. It's my friend. It's not my foe. And this is a big one for me, even if I lost it all, I know I can make something again, because I'm resourceful. And you know what? Even if we lost everything, we could just grab a caravan and travel around Australia for a year and sell apples. Like, how lovely would that be?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
It does, doesn't it?
Sell apples?
I don't know, sell apples.
Sell apples.
Something that just gives us a little bit of like money to continue putting petrol into the car and eat food, and we'll just like go to all the amazing beaches. And then I'll take some sort of action. So there's like the reframe, returning back to the story. I'll usually do some sort of action to demonstrate to my unconscious mind that it is safe to not do as much. And that'll either be like I cancel something, I drop something, I reschedule some things. I'm very good at rescheduling these days. I love it. Sometimes it might literally just be I just need to close my computer and go do something fun, or go do something calming or regulating, go for a walk along the beach. Another quick example would be if it's a person interaction. So if I'm having an interaction with someone and it's like, feeling a disturbance in my system, I've got some key coaching questions that I ask myself that just helps to return back to a place of empowerment and calm. So they are, and we've talked about these on the podcast before, the only people who can hurt me are the people that I need something from, and or a frustration with others is almost a frustration with myself. So I can then take responsibility for my stuff. Like if there's anything going on where it's like a me issue, a me problem. Sometimes it's just that I responded out of an old pattern or like an old shadow of a belief. Then it's like, cool, I will reframe that. I'll add in something somatic to bring calm back to the body, whether that's breath, go for a walk, get out in the sunshine, do something fun. And sometimes it also requires an apology to someone else if there was a conversation that needs to be had, or, you know, some sort of confrontation that happened that I need to apologize for, which then brings a deeper level of sense of peace and calm to my nervous system, because it's like, this is done. We are done. Done in a good way. Now, if it's a persistent or a bigger disturbance, so that would be something where it's not just like little things that might pop up on a day-to-day basis, and it's like, yep, a quick little reframe, taking a different action, that is fine, it's sorted it. A bigger disturbance might be a big pattern that continues to show up again and again and again, or it is causing a lot more dysregulation. So the signals and sirens are a lot louder. And if that happens, then I follow our SPARK process, which is inside our Ending Body Burnout Method program. It's the metaphysical healing that we take our clients through. Doors open again in June. If you want to come join us, you can check the program out at the show links. But essentially, I'm getting clear on my patterns again. I'm looking underneath the surface to see if there's any new beliefs that might have popped up that need rewiring, reprogramming. Are there any past events that still need some work, or new ones that I've never worked on, in order to clear that from my system? And then I get clear on what I want. So what do I really want? So I've got this big thing that continues to show up as a pattern. What do I want instead?
You're pointing at me. You're like, this big thing.
I was holding a big ball in my hand.
Oh, I thought you were pointing at me.
Well, I mean, like, that is, like, if we use an
I've
example.
got this big idiot.
Marriage stuff comes up as a big pattern. And then after I get clear on what I want, then it's focusing on rewiring that one thing. So I want to change this one thing, and all my attention and focus goes into changing that. And then get clear on the game that I'm playing. Who do I need to be in order to win it, and upgrade any agreements that are not serving me, not helping me to become the person that I want to be. So that's in a nutshell. Like, I will use our SPARK process if it's a bigger disturbance, because I find that if I'm just doing like little itty bitty reframe here, little somatic practice there, when it's something that is quite stuck and needs moving out of my neurology, I will need a more structured process in order to be able to rewire that.
And we talked about that, or I talked about that a few weeks ago or months ago, whenever that one came out, about for new peeps, what we do, you know, the metaphysical healing type thing. You know, there's always going to be some sort of giving your power away somewhere, you're outsourcing responsibility somewhere, you're being a victim somewhere, you're being a rescuer somewhere, blah, 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 meeting your needs unresourcefully. Anytime anytime that is coming up, there is a reason for that. You're doing the best you can with what you've got, with the current amount of capacity, current amount of stories, current amount of environment, people, blah, 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 blah. But it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to sort it out. So when you do notice that there is an urgency or an emergency, pull the handle, pull the brake, pump the brake, pull the thing, and sort it out. You got this. Even if you just need a moment, need some time.
Awesome.
Good
All
one.
right. Well, hopefully there was at least one little thing in there that it's like, oh.
Can I say one more thing? I forgot.
It.
I neglected to say one of my favorite, almost instantaneous emergency handle things is solfeggio music, and I think that is huge for me. One of my friends and mentors, Ewan Fleischer, he told me about this. He introduced me to this concept, and I love it. I've got a playlist on Spotify with all my favorite solfeggio frequency type music, and it will just speak to my soul. I feel great. I feel like I'm good to go once I pop that on. So if you feel stretched or worn thin or stuck or whatever, try it. Give solfeggio a go.
It's great if our kids are fighting in the back or dysregulated. As soon as you put them in really loud, it's like within moments, everyone is back to a place of calm.
Good. It's really good.
Just zens everyone out.
Kev Thompson is my favorite artist.
All right, awesome.
Have the best day ever.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.